Egypt has become a favored working destination for skilled employees and professionals. Egypt is developing and requires skilled people. Everyone who wants to work in the country needs an Egyptian work visa. Hi, this is Max from the Visa Library. In this video, I will tell you about the Egyptian work visas, the application process for this visa, its requirements, processing time, and other details. But let's do the YouTube stuff first. If you haven't, now is the time to subscribe to our channel and support us. If you do it, I will give you a free cheat sheet about the Egyptian work visa at the end. Now, who is eligible for an Egypt work visa? You need to meet the eligibility principles to apply for an Egypt work visa. Number 1, a job offer from an Egyptian employer. The terms of the job must comply with the national law and pay the minimum income. Also, the offer must lead to a signed contract. The contract needs to clarify the terms of employment, salary, insurance, and all the other details. Number 2, no Egyptian national to fill the position. The Egyptian authorities prefer the employers recruit national workers. If the employer wants to hire an international employer, he or she needs to clarify that there is no Egyptian national to fill the position. Number 3, Egyptian company quota. There is a rule that the number of international workers in the company may not exceed 10% of the staff of the semi-skilled or unskilled workers in the company. It means Egyptians must take up to 90% of the workforce. The limit by law for the skilled workers is 25%. Number 4, being healthy. You need to go through a few medical tests so you can apply for a visa. HIV test is one of them, and if you have severe health problems, you might become eligible. What are the requirements for an Egyptian work visa? Number 1, passport. It must be valid for at least 2 years at the time of application. Number 2, photos. You need 7 identical photos of yourself taken recently in a clear white background. Nothing must block your face. Number 3, educational certificates. A copy of the university degree is required. Number 4, proof of work experience. Number 5, personal documents such as birth certificates and marriage certificates are required. Number 6, a copy of the job offer letter signed by the Egyptian employer is required. Number 7, valid health insurance to cover your expenses during the trip and until your employer provides insurance. Number 8, medical test like a negative HIV test. Number 9, proof of paid visa fees. Keep in mind that the supporting documents could vary from one country to another. Before submitting the documents, you must translate them by a verified translator and legalize them. What documents are required by the Egyptian company? Let's see. Number 1, application form. The employer must get it from the Ministry of Manpower and Training Facilities. Number 2, details of the job. The exact information of the job offer provided to foreign workers and the position must be clarified. Number 3, list of foreign employees working for the company must be provided. Number 4, tax information. Number 5, company registration. The documents of the registrating company as a valid one in Egypt are necessary. Number 6, declarations if available. Number 7, 2 copies of employee's tax ID card are required. Number 8, a memorandum is required to justify the recruitment of a foreign employer. Number 9, authorities' approval. The Egyptian employer must get permission from the authorities to hire an international employee. Number 10, a list of special security paying employees. Number 11, trade or commercial registration certificate. Number 12, social insurance form. Number 13, company gazette. Number 14, letter of responsibility. Number 15, security investigation form. How to apply for a work visa in Egypt? There are no work permit exemptions for any foreign nationals in Egypt. Everyone who wants to work in the country must apply for a work permit. Let's see the steps. Step 1. Finding a job offer. The job offer must lead to a work signed contract by both sides. The details of the employment must be explained in the contract, including salary, working hours, and job position. There is a list of websites that help you find a job on our website. Go ahead and see. Link is in the description. Step 2. Receiving approval. The Egyptian employer begins the application process in the country and applies to the Ministry of Manpower and Immigration, or MMI. He or she needs to submit some supporting documents and prove that they were not able to find a national for the job position. When the ministry approves the application, they will notify the Egyptian embassy in your home country. Now, you must apply for an Egypt tourist visa to move to the country. Step 3. Apply for the tourist visa. You need to schedule a visa meeting with the embassy and gather the supporting documents for the Egypt visa. You must attend the embassy on the exact date and participate in a meeting. Submit the supporting documents to the officials and pay the visa fee. When the visa is ready, you must move to Egypt. This visa allows you to stay in the country for 4 to 6 weeks to finalize the processes and apply for a work permit or residence permit. Step 4. Register with the police. You need to register with the police at the nearest police station in the city you reside. Number 5. Apply for a work permit. You need to apply for a residence permit when you get to the country. The visa was permission to enter the country, and the work permit or residence permit is authorization to stay in the country for the long term. Bear in mind that you must bring all the necessary requirements to Egypt, as authorities could require further documents. When you are in Egypt, you have to pass an HIV test and provide the negative results. Step 6. Go through training. When the officials issue the permit, the applicant needs to take training from at least 2 Egyptian nationals. They must be local, by the way. The training is to prepare the applicant for working in the country, become familiar with rules, and practice some language. Yeah. Here's a question. Do you have to do medical tests for an Egyptian work visa? You need to pass a medical test when you get to the country within 5 days of arrival. You need to take an HIV test in the country to prove you're healthy. You have no permission to leave the country or travel abroad until you receive the result of the test and the authorities issue the work permits. How long is the Egypt work visa processing time? There is a few stages that you have to wait for the authorities' decision when applying for an Egypt work visa. For example, when employer applies for the work permit to the officials to receive verification. Then you need to apply for a tourist visa, which takes some time as well. Then you move to Egypt and apply for a work permit or residence permit. It could take from 3 to 6 months and even up to 1 year in some cases. How much does an Egyptian work visa cost? An Egyptian work visa costs you 1,000 EGP or Egyptian pounds. You might have to pay further by your nationality or the services provided by the embassy in your home country. Can you bring your dependents under an Egypt work visa? You can bring your family, spouse, and children to the country through an Egyptian work visa, but the spouse may not work. He or she can stay in the country until the worker is permitted to stay. The dependents can apply for a separate work or study permit if they do not have permission to work. Well, there you go. Now you can start your application and get that sweet Egyptian work visa. If the steps were so confusing, don't worry. I've put a cheat sheet on our website. Go ahead and download it. Link is in the description. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel. It will help YouTube's algorithm. If you have any type of visa that you want to know about, write the name in the description and we will make a video for it. Thank you all for watching.